remember, talk about the monster.
I'll try.
Yeah.
But I have got my excuse now.
Oh, God.
What is it?
Well, it's called randomizer, and it's fitted to the guidance systems and operates under a very complex scientific principle called potluck. Now, no one knows where we're going. Not even the Black Guardian.
Not even us.
Hello and welcome to the Randomizer Podcast, episode 26. I am Tim.
And I'm Chaz. My God, episode 26. And depending on how this episode goes, our survival depends upon it.
Very good. So, next episode is going to happen 7 years from now? And,
Yeah.
And then will be another big gap and we'll come back with
about 15
better
years,
writing and budget and
like
stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, that's cool.
Divorced from its function and seen purely as a piece of art, its structure of line and colour is curiously counterpointed by the redundant vestiges of its function.
And since it has no call to be here, the art lies in the fact that it is here.
So welcome along. Hope you've had good holiday periods. We're going to be talking about Eve of the Daleks and various other things, but I wanted to first of all mention that we made a Christmas video, which you can find on YouTube. It is every Doctor Who story represented as AI artwork, thanks to an app called wombo.art, which I've been messing around with. So if you search for the Randomizer Podcast on YouTube, you'll find it. It's very long. It's over an hour, but there's a chapter index, so you can jump to your favourite Doctor. And we would love some feedback on that. Let us know what you think of it. I found it quite fascinating to sort of just to generate all these different artworks from the titles of all the stories, and sometimes obviously when it said Dalek or Cyberman or something that was unique to Doctor Who, there's a Dalekiness or a Cybermaniness to it all, but quite often it's just a title, but something about the collision of words in the title made for interesting generative artwork, and I found it great fun to make.
Yeah, I've enjoyed looking at it very much. There's some rather beautiful and just surreal images.
Yeah,
but it's a fascinating piece of software, and it does generate some genuinely fascinating pieces of art. So yeah, go and enjoy.
I've also started a new Twitter account specifically to tweet out the individual episodes, and that is called @DoctorWhoAIArt. So please follow that.
Exquisite. Absolutely exquisite.
Eve of the Daleks. So I was quite excited about it, but felt, I don't know, kind of let down maybe because of that excitement. What did you think?
I was the same. I was looking forward to it, but I have to say I was bloody bored. I've seen it 3 times, right. And yes, there's some bits that I've been able to sort of get out of it, something more, but I just find it a pretty dull story in general.
I wrote down some notes to discuss, and we'll try and find some positives as well. But I think the main thing for me is the tone, because it was sort of like a fairly iffy rom-com, and that seemed to override everything else, didn't you think?
Yeah, definitely an iffy rom-com with really creepy vibes.
Yeah, it's the only time I've ever thought a Doctor Who episode would benefit from having a laugh track added. Because some of the kind of beats and the lines and the delivery, you could absolutely sort of pause for laughter. And,
I mean, The one of the stupidest things was the fucking Daleks. Constantly, Daleks do not need managers. Daleks don't need... one of our friends on Twitter actually did a line about, go bum a dog. Daleks do not bum dogs. It was getting to that fucking point.
And the tone seemed to sort of pull down the jeopardy, the kind of wish for it to be this kind of rom-com. I liked a lot of elements of it, but it didn't gel for me.
Because there were some genuinely creepy bits, the corridor, the claustrophobia of it, it could have actually been a lot more... sort of, they could have ramped up the tension a bit more. I didn't really feel a lot of tension on it. I mean, I liked the design of the Daleks. I liked the Gatling gun. I thought things like the TARDIS reforming itself, that was a great effect. But there were so many things that just annoyed me all the way through it.
It's a shame. You said, I think it's very true, that if an episode doesn't grab you in the right way, then it's so easy to just sort of nitpick here.
You
nitpick
pile
there.
on a bit,
Yeah.
you know, and I didn't want to do that.
No.
I genuinely didn't, but
But
I just can't help it.
the biggest thing for me, and I'm going to try to be big picture about it, was that there wasn't, I think, especially later on, there was no sort of sense of the deaths being painful or anybody being afraid, and I felt like the jeopardy just sort of all drained out of it at that point. And I think part of that is it wanting to have this kind of overall more kind of romantic tone or whatever.
Yeah, lighter tone or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, but they were horrible at first, but then everybody just sort of got blasé about it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, that was something I noticed as well. I mean, whenever a Dalek exterminates anybody, you get some sort of agonised look at least, you know, but mostly people scream or something, you know. There's just nothing like that. It just felt like, oh yeah, here we go again. Which, you know, I mean, okay, Groundhog Day is a comedy. That trope of a time loop in a TV show or a film can be used to great effect and to great sort of, you know, tension, like, say, what's the Tom Cruise one?
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow. Or the TNG episode Cause and Effect, you know. I mean, as I say, it's a well-used trope, but it can be done, you know, it can cause some brilliant tension and whatever, but this just felt flat.
So, watching Edge of Tomorrow again, spoilers for Edge of Tomorrow, by the way, Emily Blunt's character becomes a sort of running joke that she's going to kill him to reset the day, and sometimes he's like, no, wait, bang. And it's that comedy is you never lose the sense that it's unpleasant for him to die again and again.
Of course. I mean, you can have comedy with intention, you know, because it sort of helps to break it a little bit. And Doctor Who is very, very good at balancing sort of, you know, drama and comedy. But this, as I say, I agree with you. It felt like a really sort of bad rom-com, really. I got the feeling even from the trailer that Nick fancied her and we were in for some sort of unrequited love thing. Unfortunately, it sort of seemed to be a little bit more than that, because as far as I'm concerned, Nick's a fucking serial killer and all those things in his storage unit are trophies.
Oh dear. He's too creepy. I agree. I think it's in the performance as well, because on paper he redeems himself and, you know, sort of wins her over and all of that. But in execution, there's just it's just too weird and
or
too quick.
Exterminate.
Well, he gets death by bad pun. I mean, you've got to side with the Dalek on that pun getting punished with death. I mean, and this is from a guy who loves his puns. But
I liked what you said. Yeah, no. When I said about, you know, she's phoning her mother and they're going away abroad, and I said, yeah, this will be the last time her mother sees her, and you said, yeah, they're going somewhere with no extradition treaty.
It's I fear for Sarah's future. Let's say.
Definitely.
I know it's not meant that way, but I think it's established now that you can definitely buy yourself time by confusing the Daleks. Which, having just watched Destiny of the Daleks, we can sort of tie that into the idea of logic and illogic, because you get Dan treating the Dalek like an employee, which is quite good fun.
Yeah.
And then doing a kind of merry dance around it before inexplicably deciding he's had enough and is going to stand still now. Yeah. But, Nick with his ex-terminated pun. And generally, if you kind of baffle the Daleks, you can win a few seconds.
Yeah. I mean, that, like you say, that's established in Destiny, that they don't understand illogical things. You know? Yeah.
So a couple of other little nitpicks, and then we can move on to something more positive. But so there's that line about Sonic ventriloquism, and I thought, isn't all ventriloquism Sonic?
Very good.
And also, why is Carl in Manchester at the end? I didn't recognise him. I
just don't get it.
It's strange.
It's pointless.
I mean, it's an in-joke.
You made a good point, though. Wouldn't it have been more interesting if Carl had actually had a partner? It would also made more sense than he was visiting whoever he was partnered up with in Manchester rather than Sheffield.
This came from somebody else on Twitter rather than me, but yeah, I think it would have been a nice little tie-in to the rom-com, I think was their point. It might have been Max Curtis, but somebody else on Twitter made that point. And again, it's just a strange little kind of, let's poke fun at that character again. It's an odd one. But who knows? Maybe in the final special he'll be getting married or something.
Up to and he'll be getting married to Tim Shaw.
Well, Tim Shaw is an anagram of master.
No, it's not.
All right. You've worked that out on paper, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Carl's an anagram of master.
Yeah, all right.
No, Carl's an anagram of Garm.
Oh, fuck off!
Easy.
Oh, my God.
Right, what did we like?
The Doors.
The Doors, is that it? What about the Doors?
Well, they were Dalek proof. Well, not Dalek proof, but it took the Dalek a fuck of a long time to get through a story. I mean, what are they made of the same material that Martha's Corsa in Sound of Drums is made?
Maybe
of,
so.
You know, because it's like, I mean, seriously, that fucking stuff's better than Dalekanium.
It's plot thickness. It's exactly the right amount of time to explain what you need to explain before the Dalek bursts in.
Positives. Okay, positives. As I said, the effects in the TARDIS looked fantastic. The Gatling gun on Dalek, yeah, like that. Good idea. The actual location I actually quite liked because it could... Well, it had the potential to be a lot sort of creepier, and the moments when they were Daleks sneaking up behind you in the dark were very good. Aisling B sort of pleading for her life with the Dalek. I thought that was a great scene.
Her best scene, I think.
That. I liked Jodie when they were sitting in Jeff's living room or whatever, and she was just casually back and forward with the Dalek, which is something Jodie doesn't do. It's always hyper, and that was a nice bit.
The things I liked were the visuals largely. So the lurking, shadowy Daleks, the TARDIS reconfiguring was lovely. Although I did, here I go backtracking. If you've got 7 seconds or you're going to die, stand near the bloody doors.
I know.
Anyway, but the building collapse effect and the TARDIS in the rubble was brilliant, I thought. Lovely shot.
Although it did seem sort of weird. The whole building getting the TARDIS is just sitting there, but I know it's indestructible.
Let's just reconfigure all of that, yeah.
You know.
Oh, there was cool bits of Dalek scattered here and there.
Yeah, but I still don't buy that, a few whatever cans of petrol or whatever the hell he had and some fireworks or gunpowder took that fucking building.
I don't know who the hell Jeff was, but
huge.
They must have had some serious munitions up there.
Also, how much does it take to heat that building? I mean, seriously, why wasn't she bankrupt?
Well, she was. I think the whole thing was obviously in decline.
Yeah.
Aisling B is a lovely actor. I think
she really is.
I was slightly disappointed because I've enjoyed her more in other things. But this, watching it again just now, I think her big speech pleading for her life is really moving. And I don't know, she's just fantastic. I like very much the stuff I've seen her in. I like the big doctor speech, and the music for that scene I really enjoyed as well. It builds beautifully.
I wasn't particularly taken with the doctor speech. It was okay, don't get me wrong, but it just, I don't know, didn't move me.
Yeah,
really.
Fair enough. This is my sort of counterbalance for that Peter Capaldi speech in the Zygon story.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
And I liked a lot the Yaz and Dan scene and Yaz kind of realising her feelings for the Doctor. I think that's been a long time coming.
That bit in itself, yeah, but again, it's like another companion that fancies the Doctor, and it does kind of feel like the Martha thing, that whole, doesn't know, the Doctor's not noticing or something, or
they've got 2 episodes left to do something with it.
God, 2 bloody episodes.
Yeah, and hopefully they will.
I mean, we just know she's going to kiss her, or somebody's going to pop their clogs or something, It'll be whatever. Anyway, whatever.
Well, we'll
2
see.
episodes.
If the last special is called the exploding footwear, we'll know.
Or the death of Yaz or something. Yaz and the plastic population.
It's not too late for that one.
Yeah,
you can do an autumn story. Yeah, I mean, I think Big Finish if the main series doesn't.
And okay, big elephant out of the episode itself, I suppose. The next time trailer.
That wasn't an elephant. That was a sea devil.
Oh, damn right, Dave.
I mean, I was like squee. It's more like a squee devil.
I knew that they were coming. Never said, but they were originally supposed to be the main villain of Praxeus.
Okay.
And Chibnall had, I believe, vetoed it at the last minute. So, and
that's interesting, given what you sort of felt was missing from Praxeus was a monster. Yeah.
Exactly, and that I knew that they were supposed to be in Praxeus,
Well,
and
back
I
then.
was, and that's what annoyed me even more.
You never
because
mentioned that.
I don't like spoiling.
But that wouldn't have been a spoiler for Praxeus.
Technically not, but I don't like, because if I'd have mentioned it, there's the possibility they were going to come up, and I just don't like saying anything.
This means you can never mention any other monsters ever. That's why when we do the monster section, you don't talk about the monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
It all makes sense now.
You've worked out my cunning
God,
plan.
I thought you were just insane.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It turns out I'm actually more logical.
Well, there we go. Yeah. So, I mean, at the risk of being more excited about the next time trailer, which was definitely the case at the end of Flux leading into this one.
Yeah.
Sea Devils, woohoo.
I know. I mean, and they look great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically, they don't seem to have changed them much. I've actually seen a full photo of one publicity, and it's wearing like a kimono type.
Yeah, I think I've seen that too.
But I would imagine we'll get eye blinking and more facial movements.
More articulation.
In the Pertwee era, they were basically just painted eyes and stuff. But no, I am really fucking looking forward to this. Actually.
Do you think they'll bring the Merca back?
Well, see if they do. I think one thing I do think about Chibnall is the monster designs, when he basically takes like older monsters, have been great. Mm-hmm. The Junkyard Dalek I thought was a really nice innovation. I like the Cybermen. When they're going back to the invasion of the Sontarans. So I am genuinely looking for it, and if we get the marker, I think it might not be two people basically doing a pantomime for us. Yeah. Basically, I am excited for it, but then I've been excited for a lot of other things, so I think I'm just going to watch it and go see what happens.
Well, it's when is it? Spring, so probably Easter, do we think?
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
A man is the sum of his memories, a Time Lord even more so.
It's time for your Cheatin Memory, which is the part of the show where we randomly select an old story, rewatch it, and then say what we think about it. And I was delighted to get the Saranga conundrum. Chaz was not.
Fuck knows why.
I loved it. I really loved it. Oh man, it's like Family at War, folks. But I really liked it more the second time, actually. And I'm trying to put my finger on why I was just a bit meh the first time, but I always liked the Pating. I thought it was imaginative and different. Borderline silly, but there have been sillier things. Basically, not least talking frogs and whatnot. But here's why, and it crystallised for me watching it again, was that it does a sort of good creepy riffing on the kind of alien in the spacecraft thing, but it doesn't choose a monster that's a kind of crappy rip-off of like the alien from Alien or anything like that, like 100 bad sort of cheap sci-fi films have done. It's a genuinely novel monster.
I think I would have preferred an alien sort of tense type thing, but having said that, the Pating itself, if they'd have basically had Beat the Meep...
You said that before.
Yeah. Or, I mean, the Pating was basically a riff on fucking Nibbler from Futurama.
Well, it was Beat the Meep and the Nibbler that you mentioned before.
There was another one, but it doesn't really matter.
Small, very hungry thing.
I don't bloody like it. I just think
enough.
It looks stupid. I think the whole episode bored the fucking arse off me. I hate the pregnant bloke because that's only to sort of have Ryan's daddy issues fucking come to bear again.
Well, it was done so much better there than it was in It Takes You Away, I think. Because, there was a bit of subtlety and gradualness to it and, a journey for him, albeit a slight one. It's not a typical monster, but it's still power hungry. Come on.
Very.
Thank you. Oh, we talked about Sonic the Hedgehog. Was that who you were thinking of when we watched it?
May well be.
Yeah, that kind of small and fast.
Yeah.
And eating lots of
The
powers.
other thing was, I think the design was awful.
No, I didn't at all.
It was so bland. Because when I was watching Destiny and the Magellan ship, and it's same bright white, but it just was more interesting. And you got to the whatever it was control room, and it was like, I don't know. It just felt bad. And I think they got rid of the only interesting character within the first 10 minutes. I would have been quite happy for everybody to be sucked into space.
Harsh. I thought the pace was tight, the jeopardy was decent. The Doctor has a great character moment of realising that she's obsessing and selfish and trying to get back to the TARDIS at all costs. And that's really interesting in the light of like the end of Flux and that obsessive tendency for pursuing the memories.
Absolutely. I like that. And that's because the interesting character in her. He was the one taking charge. And they got rid of him.
No, this is just about the Doctor and her character moment.
I know, but he was the one that was berating her constantly about it. And she realised that through him, that she was being an arse.
So he had to die.
Yeah.
Yaz is good, active and gun-toting, which is fun. I really don't think the spaceship's too bad. It's not bland, it's clinical. And also, they don't keep it bright lit the whole time. The lights go right down.
Yeah, I know it's a medical ship.
Yeah.
And clinical, but let's just, on this one, agree to disagree. I don't like it. I'm quite happy I'll never have to watch it again. And you liked it, and I'm pleased. I am genuinely
good.
Happy. Just because one person or other people don't like it. I hate it when people shout each other down about it. You know, I am perfectly happy that people enjoy this era, you know, or particular stories.
I think it is genuinely my favourite standalone 13th Doctor episode now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, even more than Diodorati, Villa Diodorati?
It's certainly my favourite of season 11. I'd have to sort of think about Diodorati's kind of the start of a trilogy, so it's the start of the end of that season.
It's more like a utopia. You know, it's connected but not specific.
That's what I mean. I think you can it leaves you going, what's next, in a way that this one doesn't. It's self-contained.
Okay,
so
no,
they're not quite apples and oranges.
Fine. I suppose if I was going to say my favourite self-contained one, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I quite like. I do like the Nikola Tesla episode. I know it's still got many problems, but I know also quite like Kablam. But that's got. I mean, they've all got problems. Put it that way. But Kablam or the Witchfinders in the first series, maybe.
I don't remember much of Kablam, and I haven't watched it again yet, but I will eventually. So there's a few other notes I had. There's a nice rhythm, I think, to the title. It's like a good tongue twister, in exactly the way that I think the Halloween Apocalypse doesn't have a good rhythm. It's kind of just weirdly hard to say.
It's funny, David Legg and I were talking about episode titles or aliens that are, have got interesting names, because he was saying about like some of the Chibnall era, how dull. And so we were saying about, like the Slovene and the planet Rexacoricophalopodorius, and how interesting that is in terms of, you can imagine kids trying to sort of wrap their tongue round that, or the mighty Jagerfest of the Holy Hadrojasic Mix and Rappavo.
Okay.
Hey! See, I can remember things.
No, for sure. There's definitely that sort of poetry to your naming of stuff, and it's interesting to me as we do the monsters part of this show that I haven't really had good memories of. I haven't recognised the names of many of the modern monsters. It's not just Chibnall's ones; it goes further back into the area of them.
I actually think that's a getting older thing.
Well, I've had a happy life. Can't complain. Nearly 760. Not a bad age.
Ryan's daddy issues, they do play out with a bit more subtlety than it takes you away, thankfully. But it's turned to positive ends as well, because that then gives him some perspective on his dad's situation as he watches this guy become a dad. But I think Tosin Cole's delivery is just so monotonous.
I'm sorry. I know I'm negative beyond negative about Tosin Cole, and I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I just think he is an awful actor, and I think he sucks the fucking personality and the all drama out of the room. He is honestly a complete personality vacuum.
No, I didn't enjoy his delivery of that for sure. Also, the other thing I really didn't like about the episode was the kind of prayer circle moment at the end. I mean, this is just my taste, for sure. Oh yeah, why does the escape pod explode when your favourite character goes out in it? And I thought maybe the Pitting had chewed through something important. And it's,
possibly.
Otherwise, they've just got a really bad design flaw in those escape pods. Anyway, but
you can imagine the picture. You know? Okay, so yeah. It's just one little thing. They do explode. Yeah, well, maybe.
Hopefully, we'll never need them.
Maybe it was the same guy that designed the Death Star. With a little exhaust port.
Oh yeah,
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. This explains everything. But no. Certainly my favourite of season 11. I was happy to watch it again. So, shall we choose another one and you can hope for better times?
Look, when I give the word, press the button. The big one? Yes, maybe it works in conjunction with the others.
Okay, let's fire up the randomizer.
All right, well, let's try and find out. Now, what could it be?
The Invasion. Troughton.
Oh, yay!
Hey, there we go.
Oh, brilliant.
You waiting for Of the
We've
Dinosaurs?
Got a couple of animated episodes and that, but we've got the whole thing.
Yeah.
We have no telly snaps. And it's a trout.
Bullet dodged.
Fantastic.
That's a lovely thing.
Why don't you challenge someone else? Anyone.
So it's challenge time. I've been asking Chaz for some time now to watch The Mutants and then expect a challenge of my own to watch a story that I've never really got through or enjoyed so much. And I do think I've almost seen them all now because I'm coming up to the sort of tail end of season 17, which if there's any I haven't seen, it's in there. But I digress. Chaz, have you watched The Mutants?
Well, I sat down to watch it on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
Actually, I thought, right, I've been stringing Tim along too long, so got all my snacks and I put it on and I fell asleep.
Oh, God.
And then I woke up and sort of just this image appeared, and it was the ghost of John Pertwee.
What?
Yeah. And he's saying that, I was going to be visited by 3 spirits that evening.
Jeez.
And I should prepare. And then, as you know, I have a grandfather clock. It bonged 1 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And suddenly there was a sort of rasp at the door, and he goes, "Oh, Governor! Oh, blimey, how you doing?"
Him again.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, my God. It's little Timmy, the chimney sweep.
Why do they also have to be called Timmy?
Yeah, well. And he said, "I'm the ghost of Christmas past, God blimey. And I'm here to take you and show you your past." And I went, oh, right. So, take my hand. And we rushed up the chimney. That because, he's a chimney sweep. And the next thing I knew, I was in my living room. And I was about 4 years old.
Oh.
And it was so nice because my gran was there and my granddad. And, we were all sitting down. And he was saying, "Do you not remember when you were little? And how much you loved watching Doctor Who with your grandparents, and how much you loved the Mutants," at that point. And I was like,
What?
wow, what? So it came on, the Mutants, and I was watching it. But then suddenly, I just, at the door, there's a knock at the door, and it was weird because they were like dressed like Nazi stormtroopers, but they were actually monsters, and they had machine guns, and they basically took out my entire family.
Fucking hell.
And I was like, holy shit. And he said, "At that point, that's what traumatised you against the Mutants. You must remember all the love and kindness you had beforehand." And I said, wait a minute. My grandparents were killed by Nazi stormtroopers. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I just thought I'd throw a bit of American Werewolf in London just to confuse you."
It's certainly confusing me.
Yeah. And then sort of he went, "Anyway, see you later. You are a tough governor." And suddenly I'm back in the room. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I thought maybe I'd sort of eaten a bit of bad beef, an undigested potato, or a crumb of cheese, you know, it's sort of...
Then you sat down and watched it, right?
So, I thought, okay, right, go and get a coffee.
Yeah.
And the next thing, hello. And I said, who the hell? Oh, it's Tim Davie, the Director General of the BBC. And I was like, yes. Do you remember I told you that you were causing problems at the BBC with our department because we couldn't keep up with the production of DVDs for the Mutants? I am here to take you and show you the joy of the Mutants because I am the ghost of Christmas present. Come here and know me better, man. I was
Did he have a TARDIS in his van?
No, he just said, touch my suit, which I thought was a bit weird. But suddenly, we were at the home of, well, you.
Me?
Yeah. You, at Christmas Day, there was you and your family, and you were all sitting around the table, enjoying Christmas dinner, and then you all sat round, all smiley, rosy faces to watch the Mutants. And you said, well, God bless us all, which was really weird considering you're an atheist.
Also the only time I've ever been tiny.
Yeah, and you were all sitting watching it and you said, I think we should thank the founder of our watch-a-thon, good old Chaz. And your partner said, Chaz. And you said, what? Shouldn't we be joyous and generous at this time of the year? And they said, well, I don't think so. How long has he been stringing you along with the Mutants?
It's a fair point.
And it did. It broke my heart a little. And I said, Spirit, please tell me that, Tiny Tim will survive. Because, if I keep stringing him along with the Mutants, will he be okay? He said, I see an empty bottle of Pepsi Max by the fireplace, and a broken-hearted Tim will not be around if you do not watch the Mutants. Anyway, go, mate. And I was suddenly back in my living room again. I thought, I'm on acid.
Clearly, this inspired you to sit down and watch it.
Definitely something weird.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, okay, I'll get that fucking coffee, sit down, clear my head, watch the Mutants. And then suddenly, there's someone at the door, and it's like the Tim Reaper, scythe and everything. And he just beckoned me to come forward. And I grabbed his robe, and it's like we're in a hellish landscape. And he explains to me that this is post-Brexit Britain, where everyone is fighting over a dead pigeon to eat. And because I have buggered up the economy by causing so much problems when people not wanting to see the Mutants, that it's just hell on earth, and that's what I have caused. And I said, tell me, Spirit, is there any way that this can change? And he points towards the gravestone, and it says, if you watch the Mutants, we can avoid this catastrophe. And I say, Spirit, I promise, I absolutely promise that I have been redeemed and I will sit and watch the Mutants. If only you could please stop this future from happening. And I was kneeling on the ground, crying and weeping. And the next thing I knew, I was actually clutching at my own sofa.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, such a relief. And it was daylight outside. And I was like, oh my God. And I saw a young kid walking past, and I went, boy! He went, me, mate? And I went, yeah, you. What day is it? And he went, oh, it's Christmas. I went, brilliant. Oh, intelligent boy, a fantastic boy. I said, tell me, do you know the video shop round the corner? And he went, what? The one with the big mutants in the window? And I went, yeah, that one. And I said, go round there, get the mutants for me, and here's 30 quid. Go and get it, and we can all watch it. And he went, yeah, I'll get it for you, mate, but I'm not watching it because, my mum told me not really to sort of hang around with strangers. Anyway, couple of minutes later, and I goes, well, did you get it? He went, nah, it was sold out, mate.
Right.
So I didn't watch it.
I mean, you did ask him to go and get you the biggest turkey you could possibly get, I suppose.
No.
So, next week?
Yeah.
All these corridors look the same to me.
It's time for Which Corridor Is This? Which has been inspired by Toby Haydock and Rob Sherman's books Running Through Corridors, where they watch every episode of Doctor Who in order and say nice things about them. So I've been rewatching Doctor Who and have got as far as The Armageddon Factor and also Destiny of the Daleks, which Chaz and I watched on the new Blu-ray release, which was lovely. Yeah. So...
And I think I might actually be joining you for a few of these at least.
Yeah, well, we've got the whole season on Blu-ray to make its way through. So I just got a few notes about Armageddon Factor. It's strange. It's just tonally a bit weird. And for a wonderful kind of conceptualized season of The Key to Time, it's a poor finish, which is such a shame.
Yeah.
And you do get the introduction of Lalla Ward, although it's a big contrast in her performance between Armageddon Factor and Destiny of the Daleks. I don't know if that's just in the writing, but there's just odd tonal notes to it, really. Like, Shap, he has this kind of comedy-seeming death, and then he's back. And literally, him and the other guy, they're just wearing comedy bandages later. It's just... so strange. Merak, oh god, if Astra's wet, he's like an entire Olympic swimming pool.
You've got Dax as well.
Drax.
Yes.
Hey. That's I didn't spot any kind of trill markings on his neck, but I did think positively it was the best K9 story so far.
Yeah.
He gets a lot to do. He's
does.
good fun. Maybe Pirate Planet with that battle with the bird, but no, I enjoyed K9 in that. Tom, however, he just seems to be shouting his lines to add some energy, which I didn't enjoy much. I quite like the visuals in episode 5, which were around the Shadows domain. And there's a line about your silliness is noted, which I really like. Drax is just odd, this kind of Cockney Arthur Daly Time Lord.
It's weird. So weird. It's the thing I remember the most from broadcast. He literally comes across as some sort of Cockney wide boy spiv Time Lord.
Yeah, so strange.
You half expect him to try and sell the Doctor some nylons or something.
Yeah, he is a breath of fresh air in the story at least. But the Shadow kind of, he's alright. He's just a bit kind of two-dimensional villain, isn't he?
The Black Guardian.
Yeah. Who is quite genuinely scary when he pops up at the end.
Okay, I've got a question because I've never ever noticed, and I suppose I couldn't be asked looking it up. Who plays the Black Guardian in the episode?
It's Valentine Dial.
It is Valentine Dial.
Yeah.
Ah, good. Because I was wondering if, it was like when he comes back, if they basically just got Valentine Dial, or he was originally.
Yeah, he does the look at me, I'm in white clothes, I'm the good guy, honest. Oh gosh, you saw through my ruse.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I like Valentine Dial's performance anyway, in general.
Yeah. Again, I think maybe a budgetary thing because they're trying to sum up this epic conflict and there's not that many people. Yeah. So yeah, I like the Marshal's creepy sort of Black Mirror. Years before Charlie Brooker even thought of that. But he was John Woodvine, who also was in, as you said, Werewolf in London, Mercury. Yeah. And
he plays the Doctor.
Right. Yes. He was also in a couple of episodes of the Tripods TV show, I think. So actually. Good opportunity to plug our friends' podcast, the Tripods Cast.
Absolutely.
So it's it's out there talking through the TV show, the books, and also they've got interviews with some of the cast from the TV show as well.
I didn't actually remember that.
No, it's really cool. I haven't listened to that one yet, but it's a lovely thing. Yeah, I've also been enjoying All of Time and Space, which is basically working its way from the beginning, appropriately enough, for this section. So goodness knows how long it'll take them, but I've just listened as far as the Sensorites. No, actually, sorry, I tell a lie, the Reign of Terror. So they've got to the end of the first season, and they also listened ahead to a Christmas special on the Box of Delights, which we will be coming to ourselves very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. What episode are they up to in their watch so far?
Don't know, but they're still in Hartnell, I think.
Right.
So I haven't listened beyond the Reign of Terror yet.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But,
hi guys.
Yeah, hello. So Destiny of the Daleks we watched as well on the Blu-ray, and you lead up on this one because I've talked a lot.
I really love this episode. It's an episode I remember vividly as a child. I remember a lot of bits. Romana being interrogated by the Daleks, the wobbly wall. I remember the rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Don't remember the lizard Spock part.
Maybe not. But the Movellans, I love the Movellans. I just think they're elegant. It's such a unusual sort of way to sort of, you've got a humanoid robot and they give them silver dreadlocks. I absolutely love it. And it's an enemy I would have loved to see appear again. I know briefly we did get them in the pilot, and when he was escaping the puddle, Capaldi, and we get that brief bit of the Movellans, which looks fantastic. But I just think this is brilliant, and a lot of people I do remember over the years have criticised David Gooderson's performance of Davros. I think he's fantastic. I really like it. There's just so much to like in this one.
Yeah, I agree.
And, Daleks invented suicide bombers. Yeah. So, suicide bombers are fun.
Hooray. Now, I liked the touches that clearly looked like Douglas Adams from the Ulan Khalifid book. There's mention of a plural Z Alpha style space coordinates in the Revelin ship as well, which is
Beetlejuice.
Checkers. Well, it's just a planet, isn't it? But that's where Ford Prefect came from. Yeah. But there's a lovely randomizer. Where are we going? That's up to the randomizer line, which we could lift in the future.
Got to nick that.
Yeah. But I think the planet, the Scarrow scenes, especially in episode 1, are given such atmosphere by the kind of sound. The sound design's really lovely.
I think the direction's fantastic in this, and I don't know if he ever directed any more, but there's a lot of praise within the Blu-ray making of about the director. He's Scottish, so obviously he's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, this is a really stylish looking episode, and even if you look at it from the point of view of the original effects, they still look pretty decent.
I haven't seen the new ones yet.
Yeah, well, we will sort of have a little look, but I personally think the original effects are pretty good. It's a great design of spacecraft.
I love the Movellin spacecraft. It's so unique, really, I think, that burrowing into the ground. I think I can definitely trace my earliest Doctor Who memories as a child to this season. I remember the reveal of Scaroth in City of Death, still to come, but I do remember the stone, paper, scissors thing and elements of this story as well. And I don't know if I have any memories from the Key to Time season, so it's very, very possible that this was the first one that I watched.
The bit where at the end, where when they're freezing Davros and stuff, fantastic. I remember that line about Nellie is an elephant, all elephants are pink. Things like that. But also, they raided the costume shop in this one, because you've got costumes from Planet of Evil. There's a draconian costume used. And
it's quite a sort of odd collection of people, but they've been gathered from various places, so it makes perfect sense within the context of the show. I think the Movellans suffer slightly from that trouble that you get when you're playing emotionless or kind of robotic, and it drains a bit of energy out of it, but they do mostly okay, I think.
They do it quite well, and it's got Tony Osba, and anything with Tony Osba is fantastic.
What else has Tony done?
He's done Porridge, and of course he's done Dragonfire, and he was Charles Endell Esquire's right-hand man, not in Budgie, but in the spin-off.
Right, I only remember it from Ali mentioning it when he was on the podcast with us. But...
Yeah, so Tony, I love Tony Osba, and it's got David Yip, the Chinese detective, in it as well.
Okay.
I think actually all the support cast are great. The guy,
Tyson or Tyson.
Tyson, I think it's Tyson. I'm pretty sure.
It's probably the boxing that gives it away.
Yeah, probably. And I'm sure that actor was actually deaf or hard of hearing, and he lip read a lot. So when, reacting and stuff, I think he was particularly good in this episode.
He was in Hot Fuzz. Yes, he lost his hearing in the 1950s.
There we go.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Oh, good.
Has a cochlear implant. Tyson's he's quite a good sort of companion of the week.
Yeah. I think he's very good.
Romana really stands out, especially given how kind of really unspectacular Lalla Ward was in Armageddon Factor. And now obviously she's getting better writing and a more kind of meaty part to play. But there's such charisma and sparkiness already, and her and Tom are clearly kind of getting on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
I think they're probably married by the end of the season, did you say?
Yeah, I think they are. They're definitely seeing each other at this point, I think. I mean, okay, she's a proto-doctor in this one. She's even dressed like him in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But she comes out of the gate running.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because she's Romana, they already have a chemistry, as it were, but her performance is wonderful.
I do think she's doing a sort of Mary Tam impression in the first scene. I remember being slightly sort of distressed, not quite the right word, but kind of felt it was very profligate to go through so many regenerations. But then
I think,
it's all kind of within that. I mean, as the new series is firmly established, you can go on a wee world tour while you're regenerating and no harm.
That's what I tend to think.
Yeah,
and also it just shows you she chose the body of someone else, and then Capaldi chose the body of Caecilius or.
It's like Stephen Moffat's dotting I's and crossing T's left, right, and centre.
He's a hell of a man for filling a gap.
Polyflow Moffat, yeah.
But no, I think, I genuinely, she's suddenly in the situation and immediately she's there. She takes charge.
Yeah.
She's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant with Tom. The chemistry is on fire.
And he's upped his game this story
really
from last
has,
one for sure. Although I think, she's going to give him a run for his money.
Oh, yeah.
So looking forward to watching this season, seeing all of that unfold. That was great fun, Destiny of the Daleks. I also noticed the Daleks seem to have captured Orak at one point.
Yes, that's right. We noticed Orak wasn't the Dalek control.
I mean, the Angels may have the phone box, but the Daleks got Orak.
Yeah. We know who's going to win and who's going to get testy about it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. No, great fun. Just such a good season, this one to come.
It really is. And Say a Death next.
Onwards.
In my box are such delights.
This is Box of Delights, where we have randomly selected an old bit of TV or film and gone and watched it again and then had some more thoughts about it. However, this time it's not random, because for Christmas we decided to watch the actual Box of Delights.
Yay!
Chaz watches it every year. I hadn't seen it since it was broadcast in the 80s. And I've also had my kind of enjoyment of rewatching it compounded by listening to the episode of All of Time and Space where they discuss it recently as well. So, and I learned, which I didn't know, that it's a sequel. There was a book set before.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. Which hadn't been televised, but was made into a radio play. So, interesting stuff. And it sort of expands on the relationship between Pouncer and Kay. So, gosh, where to begin with Box of Delights? I mean, Pat Troughton, of course, lovely, but not actually in it that much.
No, surprisingly not, but makes an indelible mark upon it. I mean, you remember him, immediately, and his rampagings and...
Yeah. It's full of odd language, isn't it? Like scrobbling.
It really is. Those squabbling and I haven't a toss to my kip.
I'm quite glad of that, really.
I love it. It's like putting on a really cozy dressing gown or something. You just feel, whenever I put it on at Christmas, I feel so happy and so sort of like transported back to being a kid.
Yeah.
There's just something so lovely about it.
I enjoyed watching it again so much. It was really charming, and I think the animation and the effects are obviously a bit dated now to modern eyes, but they're so lovely in the context of the show, and really were kind of spectacular for the time. I think so much
absolutely.
animation.
I think the word the only real word I can keep using is charming.
Yeah.
It really is. I love the scene with Hearn and, Kay going off, be a stag with me in my wild wood.
Yeah, that's the big animation. It's kind of
it's so beautiful.
Were we comparing it to the Matrix scene in Deadly Assassin for some reason? I think in terms of
because outside
a big chunk of an episode that's completely different. I think that was what was on our minds.
I was trying to remember why we were comparing it.
That and the drowning.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, no, it's lovely. And the characters as well. I mean, I love it when Kay is sort of like Pat Troughton escapes on the donkey and everything.
Oh, they're riding off into the painting.
Beautiful.
It's lovely, yeah.
But when he gives Kay the box and then Kay sort of does, he goes small and to find out what the villain is planning. And suddenly it's the weirdest thing because he goes, hello, Mouse. Yeah. And Mouse, hi, Kay. And I was like, what, have you two met? Or is there something going on? Yeah. It was very strange. But I love those bits, they go past the pirate rats.
Yep.
That are singing a sea shanty and everything. And it's like,
one of whom was Nick Berry, I believe.
Yes!
Quite something.
Bizarre.
Other people who were in the cast, Julian Sands is one of the Greek warriors, so you don't really see him.
Yeah.
But also, I recognised one of the other children, and then worked out that this was Tiddler from Press Gang.
Oh yeah, you remember you said.
Yeah,
that was that
Maria, I think.
Maria, the one that
the feisty
likes
one.
Robbers and pistols.
Yeah, she sort of goes to the other side briefly. Joanna Dukes is the actor. And
right.
Yeah, she's the only one of the other kids with much personality, really, to be fair.
Yeah, the others are a bit just,
Yeah, it's like, oh dear, what's going on? Sort of thing. That's fair enough. But no, she actually has a lot of good stuff to do and
absolutely
a bit of interest. So.
But the young man that that basically stars, Kay, I mean, he's wonderful. I think he holds it beautifully.
He does very well, yeah.
He's very good against, a lot more older talented actors.
Yeah.
Pat Troughton and
Robert Stevens, Abner.
That's it,
yeah.
Abner Brown.
Aye.
And of course you've got Patricia Quinn.
Yes, who's in Dragonfire as well.
Yes,
yeah.
She is. A bit of a Dragonfire with Tony Oswald.
Yep. All coming together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh God, now we've got to talk about that police inspector because I couldn't make up my mind.
Oh no. He is wonderful. I mean, I'm sorry, but he is just... They should give him his own show.
Yeah, maybe that'd be best. That'd be safest.
He is literally stealing every scene he is in.
Yeah, I think a part of me was like frustration at the fact he's just sort of ignoring what the kids are trying to tell him.
But he's a bloodhound of the law.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
now,
what a character.
Have you seen my chickens, young Master Archer?
Oh my God.
Oh, he's fantastic. He really, really is. It's like, he reminds me of, is it PC Murdoch in Our Willie?
Okay.
Right? You know how he's sort of like, he'll be, and he'll be saying, you need to come round and see my, hen, chickens, whatever, and he's sort of just this, I don't know, he's just sort of like a lovely old uncle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's had a bit too much to drink.
Yeah, God, unforgettable though, for sure.
He is. He's absolutely
That's
great.
James Grout.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guys on the All of Time and Space podcast point out that after all this magic and wonderful journey, it's all just about, hey, let's save a church service. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you just caught up in it.
I'll be honest, I mean, look, in the context of this, it just feels right, and it's nice, and it's lovely, the whole thing, because it's all just fantasy, and I love the way Pat Troughton goes, of course, I do tend from pagan times, and the bishop's just looking completely befuddled, and then suddenly he seems to be okay by they're getting pulled along in a sleigh by Santa.
Yeah, I forgot
and
about
stuff,
that.
So why not?
No, I have very, very sort of slight memories of it from the first broadcast. I think all the talk of the wolves running and the sort of stuff, the snow, I think I mix it up in my head with Company of Wolves.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And
slightly different, but
yeah, because they weren't very scary looking dog stroke wolves in the TV show, but the idea more than anything else.
Yeah, the thing I slightly mixed it up with at one point before I obviously was able to watch it again was there's a brilliant bit in the Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, where the kids go back to the house of Mr. Tumnus, and there's a knife and a thing, and it's Fenris, wolf, but it's sort of they're reading it, and then you get his face, and it's so scary, and it's similar to the Box of Delights titles
with the wolf face,
it does look creepy,
Great music as well.
It is beautiful.
The box props lovely.
Really is.
I think the titles reminded me sort of the Tomorrow People titles, just the succession of kind of images.
No.
Quite disjointed.
Yeah.
So Box of Delights was such a joy, and we will now pick something else to watch in future.
Absolutely.
Now, what could it be?
If I can work out where we put the fucking box.
Oh, I know where that is.
It's over there, maybe.
It's okay, I put it under the Christmas tree. Which one?
But yeah, that'll only take half an hour to find out. So, yep, we have our police box money box full of bits of paper.
Delights.
Oh, delights. Police box money, whatever. We have our police box money box of delights. Let's choose one. Okay, I'm going for it. I can't.
Well, your big sausage
my big
finger.
fat hands can't reach. Great. I feel really good about myself now. Thanks for that. I knew I shouldn't have had that second sausage roll. Jim never vomits at home. Airplane. Oh, interesting. It's Dracula, the Moffat Dracula.
Oh, brilliant.
Which I've never finished.
Did you not like it, though?
I watched the first episode and wasn't gripped.
Oh, right.
But I should see it through. It's
cool.
It's Moffat-y.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Nice. I'm looking for it.
A little bit gay to see, I believe, as well.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm
Lovely.
up for that one.
It's also not like 50 episodes long or something,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
only 3,
quite achievable.
Although they are big, long, they're about an hour and a bit.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like when they started Sherlock, they had maybe 3 episodes and, but that's cool.
So that's great.
Cool.
Who are the real monsters?
So it's time for Monster by Monster, where we try desperately to stay on topic and talk about the monster. No, I'm not bitter. I have a random number generator, and I have a list of monsters and aliens from the BBC website, so we will say things about them. First monster is 76. That is the Taryn Beast.
Hey! The Taryn Beast.
What to say that we didn't say the other day when we talked about it already?
Yeah.
Apart from we love it. We want it back.
I want see, RTD's coming back, and he's hinting at a Marvel-style Doctor Who universe.
You think a whole series just for the Taryn Beast?
Definitely. Yeah. We need the adventures of the Taryn Beast.
Absolutely. Now, that's yes, that's probably enough said about that for now. We've given it probably more coverage than it actually had screen time, I think.
Absolutely.
There we go. Let's choose another one. It is 72. The Shrivenzals from Rebos. That's a good monster. The kind of scrabbly green bitey things behind the door. Yeah.
Wasn't Ian Cuthbertson brilliant?
You're doing it on purpose, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely. Damn it. Hoist by my own petard.
Yeah, well, I can't talk about that because, I might spoil something that's
true.
coming up.
If it's Legend of the Shrivenzals coming up.
I mean, it's the monster they keep behind the door. It's like, years ago, when I lived in Dumbarton, they had the whiskey distillery, and they had to patrol it. You would think guard dogs and whatever, but it was geese.
What?
It used to genuine. It was. They still do it. In fact, they have geese because they make such a fucking noise.
Right.
And I always kind of sort of had this thing of the noise of that and the noise of the geese. Yeah. So weird.
I'm not sure I see that connection, but yeah,
I think it was just me sort of going off topic.
Yeah, as if you would ever do that. I remember the sort of cover of the Target book
Yes, and it was on the cover, wasn't it?
And it was years before I actually saw Reboss.
I mean, it only really appears for, again, it's a Taron Woodbeast thing.
They're kind of out of the kind of trophy room or wherever it's guarding after the first couple of episodes, aren't they? But it's got a lot more screen time than the Taron Woodbeast.
It's protecting the Scringe Stone as well, isn't
That's right. The Cringe Stone. Okay, 153. That is Pig Slaves. So that's got to be from...
That's a new series from Daleks
in Manhattan
and Sex in the City.
Pig Slaves?
Yeah, Sex in the City.
Oh, Sec. Dalek Sec. Right. So that and Pig Slaves just went to a bad combination.
Oh, yeah, God. Samantha would do something horrid with that.
Indeed. So the Pig Slaves are kind of, mutated workers for the Daleks, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sort of mutants, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen this story then? Or is it too close to the bone?
No, too close.
We can't talk about that.
Too close and, pork off the bone. But that episode did have an up-and-coming young actor who became Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but I preferred him as that orange cat, though. 207. Interesting. It's the Fisher King. Ooh.
Oh,
I'm about to rewatch this. Actually. Coming up to that.
Actually, that's where I am in my rewatch as
We've got to do Last Christmas, and then we're into that season.
Wow. Fantastic.
No, it's really visually striking. I remember the sort of silhouette.
And voiced by Peter Serafinowicz.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Or maybe I did at the time, but I did not remember that.
But no, fantastic. Creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Great monster.
My dim memory of the story is that the monster, the resolution of it didn't quite live up to that kind of build-up.
It's another one of those timey things.
But don't remind me, because I want to enjoy it again.
No, okay. But
this is the great thing about having a bad memory, is that you can go back as if you've lost all the spoilers.
Well, just remember what Capaldi's saying in his intro.
Okay.
And things.
And then it'll make sense. All right. Let's do one more monster. 252. Done that. Let's see.
Be quite.
That's almost the last one. Oh, it's not monster. It's Carvanista.
Oh, I love Carvanista.
Yeah, and you said it right.
Yeah.
Where's the real Chaz? Yeah, so the Lupari's favourite child. I do hope he comes back.
I really do. I really like him.
Yeah, he's great fun.
Really good fun. Flux had many problems.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some great characters in Flux, and I think he just tips Joseph Williamson as my favourite. I love Sideburns. He was great, but Carvanista was he was just so good.
Him and Dan having the Bants, grudging respect, all of that stuff. Great fun.
Yeah, I love it. And there's another series that you could have a spin-off.
Yep. So that was Monster by Monster. What fun.
It's the end. But the moment has been prepared for.
9 times out of 10.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to get in touch, or if you're being continually killed by Daleks, we can be reached by email at randomizerpodcast@gmail.com. You can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/randomizer, or follow us on Twitter at randomizerpod and our new account at Doctor Who AI Art. And in all cases, apart from the AI art one, obviously, this is getting too long, this section.
Yeah, it really is. That is Randomizer with an S, not a Z.
Really, where is the real Chaz?
I know. It's great, huh?
I'm so impressed.
I know.
Well done. You've done me proud. I mean, it's almost... You couldn't do me more proud unless you watched the movie.
I've actually, at the stroke of New Year, I decided to go complete cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. I am Johnny Mnemonic, and I have a little USB where I could basically stick in and remember stuff.
It's like, what's it say, 2 gigabytes for?
No, 20 meg, mate.
20 meg, oh jeez. It's like it's a megabyte modem.